awesome. I'm super excited. And, I'm warming up our team because I'm telling them, all these housekeeping items that we want to share with them and that we are super excited for what's happening. And, Senaz, when I am doing these calls, I always share with them that if they didn't have a great week, it's always good to plug because then they get excited by listening to others. And if they had a great week, they also need to be here to share with everyone how to get there. So it's really, really, really exciting to be on this.
Awesome. I agree. Absolutely. And a good morning to everyone. And good morning, David. How you doing?
Good morning, Senaz. How are you?
I am doing great. It's called the morning voice.
Yeah.
And no makeup face. So
this
is as natural as it gets for you guys.
You look absolutely fine.
Thank you. You know what? It's actually before using Fairy Flawless, I would never in a million years, honestly, get on a conference call or do any sort of online without any sort of makeup. And we're going to talk to you about Fairy Flawless and what it does. Really, it just does such a miraculous job on your face. So today we're going to give you a little special training every single week. Danny does such an incredible job to train you, to teach you, to mentor you in your business, of your tools, of the systems that we have. And we thought we'd give you a little bit of a special treat today, and we give you a product training that David and I usually do on Mondays, but a little bit more detailed and more in tune with what we do, because normally on Mondays we have about an hour between training and questions. We thought we'd do one today, gives us a good chunk of time to answer all of your questions and really tell you what's coming for Opulence with the products, with the systems, with the tools. So I hope you guys are as excited as we are. Make sure you have your coffee, tea, hot water, drink, pop, juice, whatever you got ready. Make sure you have your notebook ready because, I've always said if you've been on my calls, you've heard me say your notes are what? Type for me in the inbox, your notes are what? If you don't use your notes, they are what? That's right. That's right. Not unwashed, but uncashed. Unwashed as well. They are uncashed checks because knowledge is power. Would you all agree? Let's start with that in the morning. And if you fill your mind and your soul with knowledge and information, that gives you what in your business? It gives you power. It gives you strength. It gives you the capability to be able to answer questions or handle objections. And you know what? That's exactly what these notes are about. When someone asks you a question, you can always be able to refer back to your notes. So even if you have heard it before, write it again. And you know what? Pass that information on to your brand new members because that is going to give them power and strength. That is going to give you all unity together as well. So I hope that really, triggers home for you because, when I started in network marketing, I used to take a lot of notes and then I would never review them. And I remember my upline one day said to me, so how often do you go through your notes? And I said, do you want an honest answer? And she said, yeah. I said, never. And she looked at me like I was blue. And she says, why do you take notes if you're not going to review them? I said, I don't know. Everybody else was taking notes. So I just took notes. And she goes, let me show me your notes. So we sat down and I started to share my notes with her. She's like, you've taken such phenomenal notes. Read them back to me. So I started to read them back and I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, I forgot that. Wow, that's good. Oh, I can use that. And it triggered in my brain how important it is to review constantly the notes that you write. Because you write in a way that you're going to remember. Would you all agree with that? You have your own way. And, sometimes we have a training that you may hear from me, and it's the same information that you hear from somebody else, and you're like, I get it. And so that's why when, we do these product trainings It's myself, it's David, it's Tom, it's Daisy. We have multiple different ways of training you because we want to make sure that you're getting a clear answer and clarity on what we're training you on. So please make sure that not only you take notes, but you review your notes often. Yes? Awesome. So David, you ready to get started?
Absolutely, man. I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. So David, they saw us in these fancy suits in our posters, and now we're in our casual Saturday gear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to our morning Saturday training call. I want to thank all of you who jumped on super early. Whenever I have a webinar, I always like to jump on early to be able to make sure my connection is okay, make sure my internet is okay, so there's no technical difficulties. And I jumped on at about 20 to 10. And there was so many people on. And I want to thank you for jumping on early. So I didn't get a chance to say hello and good morning to many of you, or good evening wherever you are. But I see all of your faces, and I see all your smiles. And it's always great to see all of you. And hello, hi, babe. So I see all your gorgeous faces, and I see all your hands, and I see where you're at. And you know what? That's a great part about this business, the unity and the diversity that we have in this business. So for those of you who don't know me, or it's your first call, or maybe you are a guest on the call, my name is Sanaz Human. I am the Senior Vice President of GWT, who was soon to be Opulent, in less than 2 weeks. Super excited. And joining me is an amazing, amazing gentleman who's joined our team recently in the past year, has become an instrumental part of my team in product development and regulatory affairs, comes from a scientific background, wealth of knowledge when it comes to your product line of the spruce tree extract, which is, of course, our amazing Fountain of Life product, which we're going to talk about extensively today. Of course, our incredible, very flawless anti-aging skincare line. We're going to talk about the ingredients. We're going to talk to you about some of the new tools. We're going to talk to you about some of the new systems. So get ready to get cramps in your hand from writing notes, because we got lots of information for you. So David, welcome to the call. Great to have you on. To everybody else from all across the globe, I know we got people on from North America, Caribbean, Africa, Singapore, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, you name it, we got it. Iran, Middle East, I won't forget you. Don't worry, Payman. Kenya, Reza's there. Hello, Kenya. So we got lots of people from all across, and I want to welcome everyone. So let's get the call started, David. In order for us to start the call, we're going to give you some information. As you come across questions that you have, type them in the box, and we will read them off and answer all your questions. So David, let's start our call this morning with our very flawless product line. Let's talk about the 5 different products that we have, quickly, what they do, and then I want to give them some exciting news of what's coming.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are. I know some of it's, some people, it's very late. For us, some of us just got up. So I thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I think that it's wonderful that you've taken some time out of your weekend to join us, and I hope that we can supply you with some information that's important. You know, the Fairy Flawless group of products has been designed as a regimen, and I can't stress that enough. A lot of people wonder why, why don't we look at it individually? It's because one product supports the next. And I said, Sanaz, a little blurb this week, and I hope you've had a chance to read it, just to understand why we have skin conditions and why we feel that there's some value in using the whole regimen, and it does make sense. The one thing I realized is that to start out doing anything, you have to have healthy skin. If you have dry, flaky, peeling skin, it's really indicative that you have an issue with the barrier, that's your skin itself, and it's not healthy. And so what happens at that point is that chemicals, anything that you're using, penetrates deeply. It causes moisture loss, number one. Number two, it causes you to age. And the other thing to realize is that it causes irritation. So it's a cycle that you get into. So when you start it with our cleanser, and we're going to start it with the cleanser always, because our cleanser does two things. It removes the debris on our face. That's really important. That we want to get rid of the physical debris that is there. But the second thing too is that we don't want to strip it all of, we want to get that tight, dry feeling, because that's impacting that barrier. And that's our protective mechanism. So what we are doing at the same time, which is very unique, and the way it was developed, was to hydrate the skin at the same time. So it moisturizes while it cleanses. And that leads us to the next product, which is and it says we're starting out our day. Just imagine that we're starting out today. So we go with the Fairy Flawless Revive 5D Day Moisturizer. And the Day Moisturizer is an incredible product because it has protective properties to it. We have the spruce extract in it, and we have a number of moisturizers in the product itself, so it's working over the day. But as we're exposed to UV radiation, pollution, everything, we do have a protective element that works all day. And then we have our Fairy Flawless Eye product. And the eye product is by far one of the best products on the market. Anyone who's tried it has seen a marked difference. And if you haven't tried it, I would encourage you to do so. It does take years off your life. And I don't know, how remarkable other products are, but this is definitely among the best. And so the way that it works, though, that it has several elements to it. Number one, it has an element where it relaxes the skin, so we're not creating more wrinkles. Number two, it has hyaluronic acid spheres, and that's really important. Hyaluronic acid is part of our skin, so don't think it's something negative. It's something that's part of our skin, but as we grow older, we lose that, and that causes our skin to sag. It causes wrinkle formation, all these nasty things that make us look aged. So the hyaluronic spheres replace that, but it also maintains moisturization throughout the day. So it's these spheres that collect moisture and hydrate our skin. And then we have other things in there that prevent wrinkles by actually puffing up the skin, which is very, very important for us. We want to make sure that and it does it through gaze exchange. We don't want to get too deep into that, but it's really important to know that it does plump up the skin. And the most important thing to realize is that as you use it, you'll see that in time, and it happens sometimes very quickly, but it does vary with people in terms of results. But they all get results, and you'll be just shocked at how well it works. There's the formulation is very similar in our lip product, in our Fairy Flawless Dream Lip, lip treatment. The only thing that we've added really sort of something different is that we've got a Himalayan plant extract in there. So we have all these things that plump up the lips. We have products that relax, our skin so we don't cause more wrinkles. But we've added in another thing, which I thought was remarkable, was a product, an ingredient that was proven to stop the vertical lines that are forming around our mouth. And some people have that, and they look aged, so it will help them. The other thing to realize in both these products is that we have the optical diffusers. And what that means is that when light hits it, it just takes away the crevices and the depth of any wrinkles that are on our face. So it does a wonderful job in producing that nice, clean look that we're looking for of youth. And the last product is our Quad AG. Fairy Flawless Quad AG is by far the most popular product in that lineup. And when we did clinical tests on it, although all the products scored well over 90% in terms of, the people liking the product and recommending the product to other people, the Fairy Flawless Quad AG was the one product that had 100% of the participants not only recommending the product and liking the product, but a product that they would tell everybody about. So I think this is something that, and they weren't asked to sell the product, but they said they're going to tell everybody about this product. And that was volunteered by each and every one of our participants. The big thing about this too is that we have all the protective value of the day moisturizer, but we also have microsilver. And microsilver is something that you're going to see more and more of with opulence. It's a remarkable product. It addresses bacterial issues, and the majority of skin issues are due to bacteria, and that causes us to look aged. So it's going to help our skin that has erythema, if you have rosacea and everything. It's not going to get rid of the problem exactly in terms of the disease state itself, but it will help some of the symptoms and helps the appearance. And microsilver has been proven over and over again to be just an incredible product. And we are the largest firm in North America that is using microsilver. So we're doing some groundbreaking stuff here. So I think you should be always excited about the Quad HA along with the rest of the products, because this is a regimen. This is not a group of products where you're just using one or two, but it's an entire regimen. And at the end of the day, if you use it on a regular basis, you will see results, and that's what you want to see. And it's a product that works. It's not a product line that is just there and we're just selling the fluff and the marketing. It is a product line that is based upon science. It really is. So you guys should be very, very confident in its ability to give your customers results that they're looking for.
So David, I know that, you gave us a little brief overview, but when it comes to the Fairy Flawless, what do you mean? When in our brochures we say created by nature, perfected by science, what does that mean for a brand new person that wants to understand that better?
Okay. Well, there's several things to really realize with Fairy Flawless, which is sort of remarkable. If you read any product literature from any other company, they'll key on one ingredient. They'll say, we got this wonderful ingredient. They'll talk about it for 2 or 3 paragraphs of this wonderful ingredient that they have. With the Fairy Flawless lineup, if you take a look at all our products, we have 5 or 6 main ingredients that are working synergistically to give you the results. It's nice because you're not just keying on one product, but the important thing to realize is that you just can't take botanical extracts and these different elements and just mix it together. There has to be a balance to it. So, we've taken what the best from nature, the most unique elements from nature, and we brought it together. And what we've done is created a product that really works. So there's a balance between science and nature here. But for us to bring in 5 or 6 ingredients for every product, it does take some scientific know-how to do it. And you have it all there in every product that you're selling with Fairy Flawless.
For sure. Beautiful. So David, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, as you are coming online, please make sure you are muting yourself. This is a live call, and we would appreciate it. Unfortunately, if someone doesn't, I'm going to have to remove them from the call. Thank you so much. So David, let's continue with some of the 2 things. First of all, everyone, Sonia, thank you for adding the Facebook group. Everyone should have already liked our Facebook group that is called the Fairy Flawless Corp Testimonial page. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you log on and you click on that link. You basically add yourself. We have to manually add you, but that will give you enough information. If you have questions, you can always ask us any question that you may have over there. And that is, of course, very important. Secondly, we also have a fountain of life that you can add yourself, and we've added it now to the main page of Opulence. So make sure you also add yourself to that as well. By the way, the announcements and the news, I'm going to give you guys all a little bit later on. So, or I may just throw them in the middle of the call. So you never know when I'm going to make some of the announcements that I have for all of you. So do we have any questions about Fairy Flawless? Because we want to get into FOL as well. We want to give you enough time to get all your FOL questions, Fountain of Life questions. David, for someone who suffers from acne, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Someone who suffers from acne, Why is it that, or rosacea, when they are using the Fairy Flawless as a regimen, why is it that they're seeing results? How is the Fairy Flawless regimen, although it's an anti-aging, it's meant to remove lines, wrinkles, make you look more youthful.
Yeah.
How is it getting rid of acne? Explain that to me.
Okay. Number one, you know, the one thing to realize is that the ingredient list we have in our product line is incredible, and there's a lot of medicinal ingredients in there, quote unquote. They're perfectly safe, as they're proven, but there's a lot of companies using it now for their products to treat certain skin conditions, although we're not claiming that. However, when people use our regimen, they're going to find out that they get some incredible results with things like rosacea, things like psoriasis, eczema, and of course, acneic prone skin. The reason that when they're using our regimen, especially the Quad HE, they're able to control the bacteria on the skin that's causing issues. And that's the big thing. Bacteria causes us to age. Free radicals cause us to look aged. And within this this regimen of products, we have a product line that actually addresses bacteria. Now, we don't say that out loud because, you know, this is a cosmetic addressed for anti-aging, but if you do have problem skin, those skin challenges, I would recommend anyone to try it because you're going to have results. And the reason being that we have the ability to, you know, eliminate the bacteria that's causing acne. We're able to calm the skin that is being impacted by atopic dermatitis or psoriasis. So it's really important for them to understand that we've got these wonderful ingredients in there in all our products that will help balance out the skin, and that's really important.
So, David, I want to reiterate a couple of things. Let's talk about my skin. I've been using the Fairy Flawless much longer than anyone else. I was the first guinea pig, with pleasure, of course. And I cannot live without the product. You know, my cleanser, my day, my night, of course, my eye serum, my lip product. There is no way that I can go a day without using it. So what it has done for my face is, of course, lifted and toned my skin. It has got rid of all of the fine lines around my eyes. And that was one of the main things that I had asked our formulator, Tom, to do. When he was developing this product, I said to him, Tom, in North America, Botox and fillers are the norm for women to go and get done. And, you know, I don't want my skin to sag, but I don't also want to do Botox. Can you create a natural product that I can put into on my face that's going to eliminate lines and wrinkles? So let's first of all talk about the eye serum. First of all, when the eye serum goes on, I've said it to many people, not only it's made for around your eyes, and if you're watching my video, I'm showing you on my video, but it's basically meant to be applied using your ring finger, by the way. It is your weakest finger, so touch them together and then tap, right? And you just tap. And the amazing thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that this is an amazing product for both men and women. So people who have puffiness under their eyes, people who have that line, or they need that rejuvenation. It works instantly because, like David said, it's got the hyaluronic acid in it, which is naturally inside of your skin, like collagen is. But when you start to use it over and over and over and over, it actually starts to become better. So I've seen, you know, in my cheeks, I still have some lines. I mean, here, it's obviously, it's not perfect, but trust me, it's a massive, massive improvement. And also having so much weight loss in the last year for myself, I've lost almost 50 pounds in the last year. So having a loss of 50 pounds, what happens to our skin? It sags, right? And our skin and our jowl line, it starts to get extremely saggy. Well, I am so pleased that in using this regimen and losing 50 pounds, my skin has never looked better. And that is the amazing part about this product. If I thought the product was amazing before, ladies and gentlemen, Now, by being a dual action, and what I mean by dual action, internal and external, using the Fountain of Life and using the Fairy Flawless, I gotta tell you guys, I'm a completely new person. And I cannot wait. I swear to you, I'm getting goosebumps sharing this with you. I cannot wait for all of you to religiously start using this product. But it's about being religious about it. It's about, if you go to church, you gotta, whether you go to church every day or not, your God is your God, right? You pray all the time. You throw your hands up in the sky and you say, God, da, 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 whoever your God is. Using this product is no different. When you wake up in the morning, you gotta be what? Consistent. There's not a day that goes by that I do not use this product. There is not a morning that I wake up and I cannot wait when I get out of the shower to put my moisturizer on. I would have never thought in a million years, ladies and gentlemen, that I was gonna get on camera, publicly be speaking to you guys, get this close to the camera with no makeup on my face and feel as comfortable as I do. That's the first thing. Secondly, in using a Fountain of Life, it is a product that's an antioxidant that we're going to get to. And I'm going to get David to explain, when it comes to balancing hormones, when it comes to helping and preventing so many ailments, why it does that. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of it, but I just want to let you all know, being a product of the product is the best way. So if you haven't done your pre-order, if you've never used Fairy Flawless, why not? How? How could you be in a business where you are promoting and selling a product and you're not using it? Does that even make sense to you? Because when I talk, can you guys see the passion and my commitment inside of me? I believe in the Fairy Flawless regimen. I believe in the Fountain of Life product because it has changed my life. Why? Because I am on it consistently, because I cannot live without it. You need to be the exact same way when it comes to this product line. Because when you use it, when you see results, you are going to become as passionate as me, and you're going to get goosebumps all over you when you share it. And you know what? Your customers will be able to see it. And that is as simple as it gets. So before I switch over to FOL, because Fountain of Life is going to be launched soon, and I want to get all of you guys all ready. So is there any other questions we have about Fairy Flawless? Because I got to tell you, your Fairy Flawless is a product line that you should love with passion. It is the best product in the marketplace in anti-aging line. It is a revolutionary product with the most incredible ingredients. There is no GMOs. David, what does no GMOs mean?
Well, they're not genetically modified. And it's a really important step, in producing a product like this. There's a lot of things to consider with Fairy Flawless. We're paraben free. We're cruelty free, so we meet all standards around the world.
What does cruelty free mean?
It's not tested on animals. We have no animal products in the product whatsoever.
How amazing is that, ladies and gentlemen? So this is an incredible vegan line. For those of you who are animal lovers, for those of you who are vegan, for those of you that maybe want a product that's, you use products that are halal or kosher or whatever. We don't have any animal products at all in our ingredient list. So these are all big things to talk about. Now imagine all of those things that we just shared with all of you. If in one picture you could show that to your customers, would you love that? All right, so I'm going to give you guys one of the really cool announcements that we have. So going into Opulence, I'm just going to try to log on to see if I can get on to our site. Just bear with me for 1 second. I wasn't planning on announcing it, but I'm going to do it anyways now. Because one of the things that I want to do is that the same call that we do for all of you guys now, I want to be able to share with all of you on a daily basis. I want you to have a David at your fingertips. How many of you would love to have David's knowledge at your fingertips, right? And, every time someone has a question, for you to be able to respond to them. Well, this is exactly what we're working on, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have it fully launched for you in effect for the Opulence Corporation. But here is what we're doing. So every time that you go to one of our product lines, I'm just going to go to our website here. 1 second here. And just log on, because I do want to share my screen and show with you guys what I'm doing. All right, so a couple of the different things that we've done. I'm not being techie. I need my Ivy on the phone so she can do it for me. So one of the things that we've done is that every single time, you know, when you go to a product line to place an order, and it gives you an image of a product. So one of the things that we've done for all of you is basically added a spec sheet. What that means that you go into Fairy Flawless, it gives you that product, and then guess what? It actually gives you a spec sheet with all of the raw materials. And let me just share my screen because I found it now. Share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see that? My screen now? I can't see you anymore. So David, say yes.
Looks,
okay.
Yep, no, I can see it. It looks great.
Perfect. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is one of your new tools that we have created for all of you. And it's about every single product line. So basically you go to a spec sheet, and as you can see over here, it not only gives you the effects, but it gives you all of the active ingredients and how it works. So these are available for download, these are available for print, and guess what? We are actually making them multilingual for you. So let's say you want them in English, you want them in Chinese, you want them in basically Spanish, or you want them in French. They're available in 4 languages for you. In Opulence Company, just so you all know, we are making everything very multilingual for all of you. So that is one of the very cool things that we are creating for you in Opulence. And that is not only with Fairy Flawless. That is with Fairy Flawless. Let's say it's the Monogram collection. Let's say that is, you know, your Posh collection. What kind of gemstone does it have? What is a rhodium plating? So David has done a great job in helping me develop these amazing spec sheets for you. So when you have a brand new person, let's say you start with our company today and you want to know a little bit about Fairy Flawless, download the spec sheet. It is right at your fingertips. How amazing is that? Do y'all love that tool? So really, would you all agree? I said your notes are on cash checks. So now we're giving you notes right in your back office. But let's say, you know, Louise, you, I know, sell a lot of skincare, and someone says to you, can you tell me a little bit more about your eye serum? Well, if you don't have the knowledge, or you're away, or you're on the road, or you just say, you know what, go to my website, download a spec sheet, read up on it. I'll call you in the next hour and follow up with you. How amazing is that? And then, of course, guess what? With the new app that we have coming for you guys, imagine being able to be with your customer and showing them on your app and reading it with your customer. Goosebumps!
I got goosebumps!
Exciting! Yes. So we are pretty excited with what is coming. So those spec sheets are available in all of your product lines. In your Fairy Flawless, your Silver, your Posh, your watches, your Fairy, your FOL, you name it. So you're going to start seeing them populate in your back office. But as of February 1st, guaranteed, you will have all of them 100% loaded in your back office. Thumbs up? Thumbs up. All right, so I'm just going to go see David if we have any questions and for about Fairy Flawless, and then we'll move forward. Of course, with this new tool that we just created for them, David,
Yes.
This will, of course, give you a lot more information, and it will really train you. It's about simplicity. Remember, Opulence is about systems, duplication, and simplicity. We're going to give you a roadmap how to get everywhere. We're going to give you a roadmap. We're going to give you a blueprint how to have success each and every single day, whether it's with your business or whether it's with your products. Is that exciting or what? So you know what? If you are absolutely remote in your own little market, I know, for example, Stella is in UK. So she is like, you know, in a market by herself. So we want to give her as many tools and as much knowledge and information that she can go do what? Build an entire market by not even having one single upline right in her market, but she can do it. You know, Liz, for example, is 6 hours north of Toronto. Even though she doesn't have anyone right here, you know what? We're going to give you enough tools that even if you are the only person in that country, guess what? You can be that pioneer in that market and go build yourself an empire. Someone like Amarjeet that goes and, you know, built Singapore, she's literally built it from the ground up. You know, she has tremendous support, of course, but you know what? She's taken leadership. She's moved there. She's doing what it takes. And you know what? That's why she's becoming MGRS qualified every month. That's why she's knocking everything out of the park. That's why she's becoming an amazing superstar. It's about systems. We're going to teach you systems. So I hope you can see how excited I am because David, if I don't get put a seatbelt on, I'm going to go flying off my chair. So let's get started with, of course, our Fountain of Life product that all of you have been waiting to not only hear about, use, but let's start giving you some amazing, amazing, amazing training so that you have the knowledge, you have the power. This is your chance. By the way, we are days, we are weeks away from the launch of Opulence. Please mute yourself out. It is very impolite to come on a line and to be talking. If you're not listening, please get off the call. There's no point for you to be on this call if you're not listening. Sorry, this is my side that if you cross the line comes out. And if you're on this call, you should be listening and paying attention. If you're playing with your kids are screaming, you shouldn't be on this call. Get off the call. Simple as that. So let's go back, David. Let's start with Fountain of Life.
Yes, sir.
Amazing revolutionary product. Let's start with a little bit of an introduction about, you know, someone who's brand new. I don't know anything about this FOL product. What is Fountain of Life? First, let's talk about what it is. Then we're going to talk about what it does. We're going to talk about how to use it. We're going to talk about the ingredients. And then we're going to talk about the research today. We're going to give you the research. So this is very, very important. So get your notes ready. Hopefully you've had your coffee and your tea. Now you're waking up and you're ready to rumble. So let's go, David.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'll try and be as concise as possible and clear as possible. You know, this area is very complex and very deep. So the one thing to realize is that Fountain Life represents the most powerful plant nutrient, and it's called lignans, Lignans. And I was not familiar with that term years ago. And I've been involved with this for quite, you know, we're talking 6 years now I've been looking at this. You know, lignans are part of our diets, believe it or not, but something that's been lost in all our food products. You know, we've refined lignans out. Now that we're doctors are talking all the time, we might have a few on this call that will recommend a better antioxidant diet. You know, and when people start looking for antioxidants, they immediately think about vitamins and things like that. Now, there are some issues with vitamins, as science has shown now. So what we've extracted and what we have is an extract from the Norwegian spruce tree. And this extract is the most powerful source of lignans, which are antioxidants from nature. There is nothing close to it. It's been known for years that trees have this incredible ability to fight off disease, live in harsh conditions, even fight off insects. And scientists looked at this and discovered that they contain this incredible resource of lignans that are keeping them alive in the worst of conditions. The problem was that the lignans were produced through their sap. And if anyone's ever seen a pine tree or a spruce tree, if they put the sap on their skin, it's pretty unpleasant and definitely something we cannot ingest. So we are blessed that we have a product with 22 patents that have covered this. So the extract itself, the extraction process is very, very unique. And the extraction process allows us to capture all of the major lignans. There's not just one lignan out there. You know, there's many different types of lignans. And the most recent medical studies have shown that lignans work in harmony with each other, meaning that people that are taking not just one lignan, but a group of lignans are getting some actual incredible results in some serious disease states. Do you want me to go further into the diseases right now? Okay.
We'll go into the research afterwards about the research on lignans and disease. Absolutely, we'll go into it.
Okay, later on. Okay.
Yes.
What would you like me to cover further on this? When we're talking about the Norwegian spruce and the concentration and the impact of that, and if you take a look at any of our posters right now, you see that it's quite incredible. That the latest is I was doing some measurements, and 10 drops of FOL equals 77 cups of oatmeal. I don't know anyone that's going to take 77 cups of oatmeal. We're just talking about the lignin content. We're talking about 900 cups of apples. We're talking about serious numbers to try and equal what the lignin count will be.
David,
yes.
Can I actually, sorry to interrupt you, I want to go back a little bit because we have so much, you have so much knowledge that you've taught me. I want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Why, first of all, let's share with everybody, why is it that so much disease, aches, pains, diabetes, so much has come in cancer? Why has it become so common today? And it will get worse in the years to come, as opposed to 20 years ago. Why has disease increased so much?
Okay.
First, I want to talk about that, because have you guys ever wondered why there's so, kids are having diabetes, kids are having cancer? It starts at a much younger age today. Or, maybe in our grandparents' generation, there wasn't any of the diseases that maybe we're suffering from today, because that was one of the triggers for me. Why is there so much disease today? Why do we even need antioxidants? I had to learn that myself, because I come from a pretty healthy background, and I want to explain to everyone that's on this call, why is there so much disease? Why do we need antioxidants? And then once we get there, then we're going to explain the next part of it. So explain, because you explained this to me so well.
Yeah, well, one of the things it's one of those things that's been a driving question in my own life, for all the years that I worked in oncology, is to, why is it not getting better? Like, why is the rate going up and up? And if you see the Canadian statistics, it's alarming in both cardiovascular disease, mental health, and cancer. And I started asking this question a while back, and I discovered a few things, apart from the obvious that there's pollution, UV radiation, all those things that are bombarding us right now and overwhelming our bodies and causing some disease states. I found out that, and I didn't really realize that our food products that we're taking have opened the door to this, because we are no longer being protected by the foodstuffs that we're eating. For generation and generation before us, they had these healthy diets. They had these, raw natural materials that were not processed to the point that they have no nutritional value any longer. So I discovered that, the antioxidant, especially the lignin intake, has been processed right out. Not, you don't even hear that term in terms of the modern lexicon, in terms of what, lignins and lost lignins in our diets, but it's something that science is now starting to key on, because we've taken them out. Like any wheat products that we've taken now, if you take a look at any of the pastas that we eat, they have absolutely no lignins in them, and yet we eat a lot of it. We take a lot of food products with no positive nutritional value, and because of that, we're ingesting, we're being bombarded by all these things. We have nothing to protect us, and that's a really big thing. The other thing too is to realize
I want to reiterate one thing as well to add on to that.
Yes.
If you guys remember, so just to reiterate what David just said, a lot of our foods are being processed, are being refined. It's for mass production. It's for mass distribution. So the quality of the food, the quality of the lignins, the quality of what's inside of it is doing what? Going down, right? So in order, David, for what you're explaining to me, in order to get the same sort of value, then you're going to have to take more of it. Like you just said, you're going to have to eat how many cups of oatmeal to get the same as 10 drops?
Yeah, we're talking about 77 cups of oatmeal.
77. I can't even eat 1 cup of oatmeal.
That's out of sitting. I'm saying, it's
Yeah.
pretty significant.
So, that's even more than 1 month's supply if you were to even have it every single day in the morning, right? There's only 30 or 31 days in a month. So that's the first thing I want to cover. So David, explain one thing to me. And sorry, just before you go there, did you guys see a couple of years ago how the whole organic vegan movement, raw food started to come into effect? Because a lot of people started to get educated that our foods are so refined and they're so manipulated that they're really not good for us. So a lot of people started to basically go into a much healthier eating habit, having a lot more fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. For example, I've changed my diet. This is my breakfast. It's all fruits. I have some pears, I have bananas, I have some oranges. So it's about really making a difference in your diet. So David, what you said is basically our food started to get refined. Basically, the quality of the food went down. And of course, when the quality of food that, when we used to eat oats, it was doing something for our bodies. Now it doesn't do that anymore. So that's why we need to take more supplements or vitamins in order to support us. We're going to talk about vitamins very soon with you as well, because David just sent me a shocking article about vitamins. So we'll get there. So David, please continue. I just wanted to reiterate that. That's very important because I want to put those triggers in your brain about why your customers need lignans. Because when you're talking to customers, can you now explain why? Can you now understand why, pollution affects you, UV affects you, the food that we eat, all of that affects you. Please continue, David.
Yeah, and pesticides affect us, and that's why there's such a big organic movement out there. And realize that it's coming down to the fact that we can't get rid of some of the pesticides, and they're causing what they call free radical formation. And if anyone doesn't understand the term free radical, just remember free radicals exist all the time. But when we get overwhelmed with free radicals, it causes cellular damage. That's all you have to remember, is that when our bodies are impacted by free radicals and we're overwhelmed, it causes cellular damage, and that is never good. It causes disease states from our cardiovascular system right through to other things like mental health, and over to things like cancer. So that's why we have to sort of replenish these lignans. And that's where FOL really comes in. FOL has two things going for it: the best quality and source of lignans on the planet, number one. Number two, it's a natural product. And we'll talk a little bit more of natural versus synthetic. But, the important thing is that it gives us a boost. It actually replaces the lignans that have been lost in our diet in a very, very simple regimen. And it's very impactful that way to us on a daily basis. So I think if you kept it really simple and just realize, and anyone would agree with you, that the processing of foods have really impacted the nutritional value, the protective value that our foods once had. The second thing is to remember that it doesn't have the lignans. Probably people don't even know that term. You have to educate them a little, but if they realize that lignans are an antioxidant, something that we need, and they'll discover that FOL does contain everything. We have this nice little compact bottle. And 5 to 10 drops a day will make a difference in your life.
I didn't realize I was muted. Absolutely, David. So 5 to 10 drops. We originally started, I just want to make sure that we go back. When we started to train all of you, we said 5 drops. Just so you know, a lot of our marketing material is changing to 10 drops because the more research that we're doing, the more people that have used it, especially in average adults, weighing between about 70 to 100 kilograms. Let's talk about the usage, David. Based on kilogram, how many drops do you need per kilogram? Write this down, please.
Well, on average, you're saying 1 drop for 10 kilos, but let's take a look at how we're going to use it. The other thing to really realize before I go any further, there's no toxicity to this product. Okay, we did ask from university researchers, is there a toxic level to this? And they said no. So that's really important to understand. So you don't have to be so fastidious and say, you know what, I put in, I think 15 drops today in my coffee, and I'm not sure, am I safe? You know, you don't have to worry. There's no toxicity to it. What our body will do is probably expel the excess, so you're just wasting it otherwise. But if you use, you know, the rule of thumb is 1 drop per every 10 kilos, you'll find that. But again, it's how you feel, you know, and you're going to find that you'll adjust your intake as to how you feel and what does best for you. And you know the difference in time.
David, I do want to reiterate. So you said 1 drop per kilo on average.
10 kilos.
10 kilos, sorry.
Yes.
Talk about taking a lot of drops, right? So I just want to let you all know, when you start your first supply, the reason we don't sell them in single bottles, by the way, I want to make sure that you all understand why we don't do that, is because we want to make sure that you actually use the product. Do not cheap out on your health. You got to make sure you get this working in your body, because when I first started to use it, or Rameen, the first 2 months, we didn't know what we were looking for, because thank God Rameen and I are both healthy, right? We don't have any ailments, or we don't have any aches or pains. So we thought. And then the more we started to use the product, I was telling Rameen, like, Rameen, my knee, you know, my right knee is always like hurt. It doesn't hurt anymore. He's like, yeah, my elbow doesn't hurt. So we were just sharing with each other all the things that we didn't think we had, but we did have. But by using the products, you're going to start to see it. I remember David, when he used it, it was a weekend, we were doing a photo shoot. He said, I didn't realize what a tin man I was, right, David? Until I started to use a couple of drops. So he was using the FOL, and I guess he had some broken bones in his younger days. And he said, I felt like a tin man before. By using the Fountain of Life, it really almost greased up my joints, right, David? Is that what you said? I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It felt like it was greased up. You know, I've got early onset of arthritis because of a very misspent youth, doing too many silly things. But one thing I do know is that it's got anti-inflammatory properties, which addresses chronic inflammation. So, you know,
let's talk about that, David. Talk to me about that.
Well, a lot of us live with chronic inflammation all the time, and we don't even realize it. We've acclimated to it. We just get up, we say, oh, okay, you know, I got a sore shoulder or a sore back or sore knees, and we're just used to that sort of thing. And so we just go through our days. But chronic inflammation is very bad for us. Chronic inflammation, they've discovered, leads to cardiovascular disease, you know, and that's very serious. And the reason that happens, they've discovered that even if it's in our, you know, pinky or in our fingers, that it causes inflammation of our blood vessels. And one of the protective responses our body has, which is just crazy in a way, is it coats our inflamed areas with cholesterol. And cholesterol coating, it smooths it out, which is nice. But what it also does is causes occlusion. It causes it to get smaller and smaller and raises our blood pressure, does all sorts of negative things. And so as an anti-inflammatory, when they take that, they discovered that people taking a high lignin diet have an incredibly less chance of cardiovascular disease. Over 30 years, they discovered 30% less and 30% less cancer and cardiovascular disease in both groups, which is significant. So they discovered that there is something tied to a lignin diet. That was a 30-year study. And so FOL represents, you know, a very powerful anti-inflammatory as well that helps address the chronic inflammation that we feel. So if you've got arthritic pain in your knees or in your shoulders, wherever it may be, I can highly recommend using it because it will bring down that inflammation to that point where you'll feel better. But also just know that it's going to be protecting your cardiovascular system over the long run. That's even more important. We might be able to live with the pain, but we can't live without our heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So, David, talk to me about some of the things that Fountain of Life is. We say that FOL is anti-inflammatory. Write that down, please. What else?
Well, it's an antioxidant, first and foremost. It's the most powerful antioxidant out there. And if anyone wonders really what it really means, is that oxidation is not a good thing. You know, oxidation is You know, when Sinaj gave me the best examples, when you bite an apple, it starts turning brown. That's oxidation right there. If you imagine, internally our body's doing the same thing because it's being impacted by free radicals. The free radicals are destroying healthy tissue and healthy cells, so it's never a good thing. So understand that oxidation is not a good process. It makes us look terrible. It makes us look old. And so from the inside out, we can start impacting that process, which is a positive thing. The other part about it is antimicrobial. And what's sort of cool about this product is it's a mild antimicrobial, but they've added these this lignin source, FOL, into shampoos. They placed it topically on people. They've seen results. Shampoos were impacted by bacteria and a fungus that causes dandruff formation on our heads. So they added, a 5% solution. That means 5 mils for every 100 mils of shampoo. They mixed it in, and they discovered they had wonderful results with this.
Okay, so David, you know your information so well. You're just smoothing away. Wait. Slow down.
Well,
so you're telling me by being an antimicrobial, it's an antioxidant. So did you all write that down? It is antioxidant, number one and foremost. Second, it is what? Antimicrobial. Is that great or great? So what does that mean? Tell me. I don't know what that means, David. Tell me what that means.
Well, the antimicrobial part is sort of, I didn't mean to gloss over it. It's just that it impacts the bacteria on our skin. Now, the proof of the pudding is in terms of bacteria on our heads. Believe it or not, the bacteria count on our head is the highest, which makes sense because it's our tallest point in our body. And so, the resulting of an overwhelming of that bacteria and fungus is dandruff. And so they added it, the extract to shampoos and conditioners, and they found that the dandruff count went right down. Gave symptomatic relief as well. So it's just amazing to see. It also has, lignans have the ability to heal wounds. So if you place lignans right on a wound, it will improve that. One of the reasons it does that effectively is it impacts the bacteria in that wound and helps wound healing. So it's another point just to remember. So if you do have a cut or abrasion, what did the doctor call it? Road acne. I couldn't figure out what it was for the longest time. He's talking about road rash. If you fall and you scrape yourself, he's placed it on. He said they've had wonderful results with that. And it just, it helps cleanse that area from bacteria. And that's important to understand. That's how lignans work.
Perfect. So we're going to get into the research in just a little bit. We're going to tell you about all the different things like dementia and cancer and all that, how lignans help it and support it. But before we get there, David, I want to just make sure that I understood this properly, because I was sitting down with you when the doctor was talking to us and, we were so ecstatic. So I can basically take this internally, put it in my body. There is no toxicity level. I can never say any other words. All these words like hyaluronic acid, David had to coach me how to say all these fancy words. I guess coming from a scientific background, those are some of the amazing attributes. And that's why it has captured the attention of so many doctors and nutritionists of this incredible product line, as well as farmers, by the way. I'm going to give you guys some tips on that. So David, I want to go back a little bit. You said that, of course, based on the research, we are to take this product internally so we can consume it, use it. And so that's the first way. Second way, topically on your skin. I've already tried myself. I actually got some acne and I applied it topically. And right away, I was able to see results. It got rid of the inflammation. When you get acne and there's pain, got rid of that right away. Second, so that was the second thing. Third is you can actually put it in your shampoos and your conditioner and be able to actually wash your hair. And David, that was so interesting what you just said to me, that there is a lot of bacteria built up on your head because, of course, you are exposed, your hair is exposed, especially for women that have longer hair as well. They are exposed to a lot more pollution and so on and so forth catching onto their hair as well. It's all the things that we don't realize every single day. So gentlemen, if you're bald, I guess you're lucky. There's no hair. It doesn't get stuck on your hair, right? So David, so far everything is correct?
Correct.
Okay. Last thing that I want to share that I'm extremely excited about is, well, not last thing, but another point is your pets. So some farmers wanted to, I know they wanted to give it to their livestock. They wanted to give it to their horses. They want to give it to their dogs and their cats. Can FOL be taken by pets, David?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of our pets, especially cats and dogs, we neuter them. And what happens is that they have they go through a hormone imbalance. So lignans have proven to help balance those hormones. And some doctors down in the States started doing some studies on it and discovered that lignans are very helpful in addressing certain disease states. Dogs suffer from a cortisol issue called Cushing's disease. And they discovered that lignans in their diet do improve that. Obviously our pets do not get exposed to much lignans or fruits or vegetables or grains. The other thing too is that they're mammals, and any of our pets, or I would say the majority of our pets are mammals. People might have reptiles, but this is a product that works on mammals, so it won't work on a reptile. But the reason that it works is that it's ingested and it's converted from a plant lignin into a mammalian lignin or a human lignin, or what you want to call, in our gut. So it has to be ingested for that conversion to take place. That conversion creates two things, enterolactone and enterodiol, which is not that important, but to realize that the animal lignans that it produces helps balance our hormones, and that's what they've discovered. And it's a very, very crucial step. So you have to have a healthy gut bacteria. So it's great for our pets. Okay,
Beautiful.
So you can add that. And just for anyone that says, well, what if I have constant problems with my digestive system? For our product, just take it under the tongue. It will be absorbed by our system. Okay?
Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard David, and of course, based on the research and lignans and the Fountain of Life product, not only you can use it, but of course, this is a product that your pets can use. I've already tried it on my dog. As you guys know, I have a little pooch, and not having kids, she's like my little princess. The only way I can feed it to her is bribing her with mixing it in with peanut butter. But because she is so small, I basically take like a little scoop of peanut butter. I mix in the FOL in there, and yum, yum, yum. She just licks it right off and eats it. Now for your dogs, or cats, they may not be such a princess like my dog, and they may just actually consume it in their food, in their water. You can give it to them in many different ways. So of course, this is very, very helpful. So David, someone's asking, someone who's got chickens, can chickens take it as well? I'm assuming yes, right?
Well, I don't think it would hurt them. They're birds. I'm not really up on their digestive systems, to be honest with you, but I think their digestive system will probably convert it.
Okay.
I don't see why I wouldn't. I'd have to do a little more research into the avian diet. I studied that at one time, and I can't remember, to be honest with you, how they convert things. But
how is that possible? You're 36 years of science. You remember everything from the textbook.
I did work at the vet. I did some work at the veterinary college at one time, but I was doing surgical work on horses, so I didn't get right into the birds at that stage with them. So it was a very different experience for me.
Okay. David is like a library of medical science. Anything you ask him, he goes back and says, well, 11 years ago I studied this. He's so good that way.
It's giving away my age, that's for sure.
No, you're in your 20s. We know that. Yeah. Okay, so everyone is clear on these questions. I just want to make sure before we move forward, you guys are getting all the amazing. Are you guys enjoying this call, by the way? Are you guys learning something new today? Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of people say my dogs need it. Of course, our dogs are like our kids, right? So we want to make sure that we take care of them and we give them everything that there is in order to support them and their digestive health as well. So David, someone who says that, I'm allergic to plants, or I'm allergic to trees, or
Yeah.
or bushes, would they have an allergic reaction taking the Fountain of Life product?
Well, there's always a chance of that when you're hypersensitive to anything, and understanding the roots of any product is important. And if you do have hypersensitivity or an allergic response to pine or spruce or any coniferous tree, I would recommend you talk to a doctor before you take that step. You might want to do a patch test on yourself, but I would really talk to a doctor. We just want to make sure that you have no negative responses. We haven't heard of any, but we always want to err on the side of caution, always.
So I wanted to also reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a product that was developed yesterday. This is not a product that is, just created. This is a 25-year-old product, David?
Yeah, something like that. It's been around for quite a long time.
So, but one of the things, just like the microsilver, by the way, I don't know if you all know, we are the only North American company. North America is a big country, or a continent, would you all agree? We are the only North American company that is creating an anti-aging skincare line with microsilver, number one. And number two, we are we have the highest amount of active ingredients in our skincare line. Like David said, majority of skincares out there have one active ingredient, maybe two. Some of our products, like our lip product, has 6 active ingredients in it. So this is very, 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 very important to make sure that you understand what we've created for you is for a forever product. It is a product that we have truly invested into. It is a product that we have put the best raw materials and ingredients into, not only for you to see results, but for it to have longevity. The same thing goes with the Fountain of Life. When we discovered this, and again, a big thanks to David, because he was the one who talked to us a lot about, to our CEO and myself. And of course, Ramin all of a sudden started to see fireworks. Because again, when we first started 12 years ago, we were primarily a jewelry company. Then we went into fashion. From fashion, we got into skincare. And the reason we're doing this massive rebrand is, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have no idea how phenomenal this product is, or maybe you do know, but I think you see how excited we are. And I know how excited David is. And when you come from an extensive background like David does, with the years of research that he has and Tom has, and Dr. Allen is our scientific scientist that's developed the product, when they're so excited about this product and when we start to use the products and we see the results in our bodies, we're excited for you. We are excited for you to start using it and for your customers to start using it and for your families and your loved ones and your neighbors and your friends, because you know what? If we can give your health back, or if we can improve your health, are you excited about the product? Because you know what? We can live without a lot of things, but we can't live without our health, right? We have to have good health in order to be doing whatever we need. So this is why we are so ecstatic about this product. This is why we are excited, because we're going to teach you how to take care of yourself internally with the Fountain of Life and externally with Flawless. Is that exciting? Yes or yes? Okay, so David,
Yes,
we talked about, that it's high in lignans. We talked about pets. We talked about using it topically. We talked about if someone gets a burn, or if someone gets a cut, or if someone basically, your kids that are running, or you scrape your knees, they can basically topically put the Fountain of Life product onto the skin topically and be able to see amazing results from healing, from cuts, from bruises. I'll give you guys an example as well. Many of us women, I shared this, I think, on the Monday Night Call, we tend to burn ourselves with our hair products, curling irons, straighteners, all that kind of fun stuff. These are great things to actually apply topically to help you out as well when it comes to burns and cuts. So, David, I want to get into a little bit about the research, because the research in lignans is absolutely astonishing and mesmerizing, really. And one of the first topics that I want to talk about is, the women's health. So a lot of women, I think every single woman, whether we like it or not, we go through menopause, right? And there's no way of running away from it. So when a woman goes through menopause, of course, our moods change, our hormones change, our weight changes, our skin changes, our screaming tone changes, if we want to say.
Yes.
And our mood, and maybe even depression may kick in. So there's a lot. It's not a positive experience for women. Would the women agree? We've all seen somebody go through menopause or maybe going through it. We got a lot of hot flashes. We feel very uncomfortable. So tell me a little, because I personally have given this product to someone who's gone through that. They've seen weight loss. They've seen their hot flashes reduce. Tell me how the Fountain of Life, based on the lignans, is helping someone with menopause.
Well, there's something really important to realize is that there's a couple really major lignans in there. One is 7-HMR and SDG. And I won't get into all those details right now, but just realize that there's been a lot of study on that, especially SDG, the saccoisolariciresinol, which is common in flaxseed. But we got even more in terms of what's available in Fountain of Life. The 7-HMR is something that is very unique, and it acts very fast in our bodies. And I want everyone to realize that it doesn't take as long to react, and it's something that's very, very valuable to us. And 7-HMR is just coming on stream, and it is going to be a huge lignin out there. They're studying it more and more, and and this is unique to the Norwegian spruce. But having said that, why is this all important? Because when it gets into our bodies, and especially for women going through menopause, going through a number of changes, hormonal changes, and as I referred to before, it's our ability to balance hormones that's really important with lignans. So when you're taking the lignin, a plant lignin, and it's converted in our gut over to a mammalian or human lignin, it creates that balance with enterodiol and enterolactone. The one thing to really realize that it doesn't take a long time with a 7-HMR. It's converted very, very quickly into our system. So for women, it's very important. The other thing to realize with this is that there's, a higher rates of cancer, breast cancer with women, especially that are postmenopausal. And they're, simply put, it's sort of interesting. One researcher said that it's like musical chairs. There's good estrogens, and then there's these very, very, very weak the type of plant hormones that can take up these sites. And as a result, they said that the incident when you're taking lignans will reduce the chances of breast cancer in women. And that has been proven over and over again. The thing is, the 7-HMR that we have reacts much more quickly in our bodies and gets to those sites quickly. So it's important for women. Hormone balance, it does that too. Now, the other thing to realize is that as men get older, we don't go through menopause. We go through andropause, though. And andropause is a whole litany of other issues. And, we have benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is benign prostate growth. It's not cancerous, but it certainly is a problem for a lot of men. And so it is caused by an enzyme in our system called 5-alpha reductase that is created and causes this growth. At the same time, it causes us to lose hair. It shrinks our hair follicles. And so lignans, they discovered, block that. And so some men who are losing their hair reported their hair has been restored. And the reason being that the 5-alpha reductase is no longer impacting the hair follicles, causing it to fall out. The other thing, too, is that they're not going to have urinary tract problems because of their lignan diet. FOL has all the right lignans and the right concentration to help prevent both. So for both men and women, as you get older, it becomes more important to our diets.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I know many of you guys have questions. I'm going to get to your questions, I promise. But you said something. Let's go rewind a little bit, because we know everyone has somebody, whether it's their mom, sister, friend, best friend, sister, that suffers from menopause, right? And they get uncomfortable. So I want to explain this. I want you to explain this to me in a little bit more detail. When our hormones go all over the place, we gain weight as women, right?
Right.
That's what tends to happen to a lot of women in menopause. Some women have had a difference in weight. So how does the lignin, or how does the fountain of life help someone in balancing, getting rid of the hot flash? I just want you to reiterate that one more time, because that is a common question that comes up. And how will it help with their hormones and not getting the hot flashes?
Okay. Yeah, it's a good question. The reason that it happens in the balance is that we are creating that. We're bringing in these. It's sort of funny because they're not hormones per se, but it mimics them. But we create, when we're ingesting something like Fountain of Life, lignans especially, it is converted over to enterolactone and enterodiol. These are the two things that's converted. And when we convert them into our body's able to take them and balance out our hormones. And if we get that hormone balance again, and women are going through, and like I'm talking about animals that have been neutered and all that, they go through a very, very big hormone fluctuation. And we're very hypersensitive to it. You know, that's when we gain weight. We got women get hot flashes, and they have all sorts of issues. So when we're talking about that conversion, our ability to convert, the human body's ability to convert our plant lignans over into human lignans, helps it balance those hormones out. And that's very important. That's how it helps our animals, and it helps women going through menopause. Because it does, and there's been study after study that's shown that the ingestion of lignans has reduced the hot flashes for women going through menopause. So anyone going through that's an immediate sell point, to be honest with you. Like if you know anyone going through that, you should get them to take, Fountain of Life, because it will impact their quality of life immediately. They'll get better rest. They'll feel better. They're not going to go through this inordinate problem because the hormones will be that much better balanced.
Beautiful. So, David, the second thing, of course, you talked about that I do want to reiterate a little bit more on is men's health. And, prostate health is very important for many men. So that's based on inflammation. They have difficulties when it comes to bacteria, urination, inflamed glands, so on and so forth. Right. So talk to me and elaborate a little bit more based on our research, what we found when it comes to gentlemen. We talked about the hair health, and we've already seen some of those results. Talk to me about prostate health. Prostate health is improved with lignans. It's important for every man to have a lignan intake. Really, really important. And the reason I say that is that, we go through different stages, and I don't know how to describe it. Well, there's an area of our prostate called the transitional zone, and it goes through hyperplastic growth, and it's really, really important for us to be able to control that, because if not, it really squeezes the urethra, and we're not able to void. And when we're not able to void, it leads to your lower urinary tract infections and everything. So there's a whole host of problems. And although this is not fatal, it is certainly, uncomfortable. And it's a social problem. It is a lifestyle problem for many, many men as they grow older. So you always want to have a healthy prostate, of course. And then again, they found that lignans in the diet help address prostate cancer. And that's a whole area. And if we take a look at our prostate, like an orange, the rind of the orange is the area where prostate cancer occurs. Benign growth occurs in the nice juicy part. So lignans seem to help both ends of that. And so it's really important to have a good lignan diet. How do you get a good lignan diet? Well, that's the challenge these days, and that's where FOL fills that in. Because, men will read this and say, okay, I got to increase my lignans. Well, what do I have to do?
You know, oh, okay, I got to take 77 cups of oats now to get that. You don't have to do that. We've provided you with a source to get that lignans and balance out your diet that way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. Love it. Are you guys excited or are you excited? Because I'm excited, right? So talk to me about heart. We all have a heart, right? We all have amazing hearts full of love and gratitude. So David, talk to me about how this amazing product helps us with our heart health.
Well, lignans are an important part of our diet. There's two ways it does help. I talked to you about both already, but just to reiterate, you know, free radicals are a problem in our system. Free radicals cause cell damage. You know what? It's when we're overwhelmed, and anyone could read about, oh, you know, our bodies create free radicals by just the nature of the fact that we breathe, and that's true. And through our digestive system, yes, that's true. The important thing to realize, though, when I'm talking about free radicals, I'm talking about those free radicals that are overwhelming our system, causing cellular damage. And we don't want any of those. We want to get rid of those. We want to neutralize it. So lignans help neutralize that and reduce the amount of free radical damage in our system that could cause cardiovascular disease. The other area that we're impacted is chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation can lead to cardiovascular disease in the long run, where you know, we have an increase in cholesterol in our system because of the inflammation of our veins and arteries. So we want to be able to control that just through a good diet. So lignans will help that. That's where it will come into play. Are we okay? So anyways, those are the two areas when it comes right down to...
Sorry, David, give me 1 second, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please mute yourself out or I will remove you from the call. Thank you so much. Sorry, go ahead, David. I apologize. Someone was...
That's okay. Kids are kids. When it comes right down to, you know, when we talk about cardiovascular disease, it's, you know, a balanced diet is important, but when we're talking about a diet, we have to have a diet that contains the right lignan count, right antioxidant count, to lower, but something that's anti-inflammatory. So you need something that's antioxidant and anti-inflammatory to address the potential of cardiovascular disease. And if you don't have that, you're not going to get full value. And that's where the lignans come into play. This is where FOL comes into play because it does have that, both. And so you want a lignan in your diet to reduce the inflammation in your system. You want lignans in your diet to address the free radicals in our system that both lead to cardiovascular disease. You want to give yourself a fighting chance. And you can't get it through our diets. So we might as well supplement our diets with a product like FOL.
Perfect.
FOL if you're allergic.
So I just want to make sure that, sorry, you are not muted. Please make sure you mute yourself out. So David, I have a bunch of questions that are coming in. I'm going to get to the questions because I want to make sure that we get to your questions and we answer them for you as well. So when it comes to blood pressure and diabetes, can you tell me a little bit about how the Fountain of Life and lignans helps that out? Because that is a common disease.
Well, when I talk to diabetes, there's more and more studies, and it's sort of on the periphery right now, but they're talking about glycemic control right now with lignans in the diet. And it seems to impact and give better glycemic control and some of the symptoms of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So more and more papers are coming out on that. I'm reading more about the results that they're seeing, but they're definitely saying that lignans in your diet, the proper lignans in your diet, will help control the symptoms of diabetes. It doesn't cure diabetes. And I want to stress that because I don't want people to stop taking their insulin and everything thinking that my diabetes is going to come completely under control with FOL. That has to be determined by blood tests, you know, through the doctors, everything. And if it improves, and for whatever reason that you don't have to take as much insulin, whatever, I think that's wonderful. But I said, please do not take this as a medication or replacement for a medication. It'd be harmful to you. But again, what it will do, though, is help control some of the symptoms, and that's been proven. The other thing is in terms of blood pressure. Well, if we have a lot of inflammation in our system, and we have occlusion of our arteries and veins, we're going to have an increase in our blood pressure. So it's important to keep that chronic inflammation down. And if we can decrease that chronic inflammation, we'll have a better chance of lowering our blood pressure for sure.
Beautiful. I love it. Is that exciting or what? What about someone who have MS? Because I want to get to the different things and how lignans help. So I know when it comes to MS, that is something that unfortunately is becoming more and more common. And the word that I can never pronounce, fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia is defined by a set of measurements. You know, it's a widely used term. You know, and I work with a doctor out in Alberta on fibromyalgia and just trying to, you know, treat patients with it. And it's sort of funny that a lot of patients will say they got fibromyalgia, but yet it's really defined by themselves, not necessarily by the doctors. But when we're looking at inflammatory states in the body, and that's part of what fibromyalgia is, I would consider, you know, you should add in a better anti-inflammatory into your diet. And so that's where Fountain of Life will help improve some of the symptoms of fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a bit of a mysterious problem too. You know, they don't have quite a handle on it, but they're trying to define it better so that they can definitely categorize it. At the same time, when you're looking at areas to treat, instead of taking an you know, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory type of product, I would consider you know, supplementing your diet with a good lignin like FOL to try and reduce that inflammation.
Perfect. So I have a testimonial here from Reza Mazgarlu, who's our CEO's brother. And he says that FOL has really tremendously helped him not like smoking or the flavor of smoking. And it's going to get smokers on FOL. They will hate the taste of smoking. After a 30-hour flight, stop over one cigarette, and he felt like yuck. And he smokes. I've seen him. So can you tell me why and how that could happen if someone doesn't like the taste of cigarettes anymore?
I don't know. No, it's sort of an interesting comment. More than anything, that if you take a look at what you're doing to yourself when you're smoking, you're pumping in all these free radicals into your system, right? You're just pumping it in. You're just puffing it in. And what FOL is going to do is just neutralize those free radicals as it comes into your system. And that's the important part about it. Smoking is an individual, it's an individual type of issue. You know, some people enjoy the taste of it, but I think that what happens over time is that if you know, FOL might impact the taste only the fact that we're getting rid of all those free radicals, and it's neutralizing as it goes along. And you know, I can't really answer as to why the taste would change that much, but I can tell you one thing is that the degree of damage that smokers are undergoing is tremendous with cigarette smoke. So I would consider taking a better antioxidant.
Yeah.
And do not use, at the same time, do not use, and if anyone is using beta carotene as their antioxidant and they are smoking, get off it now. Because studies are showing that beta carotene actually increases your chances of lung cancer. It is proven time and time again. And it's been for the past, I don't know how many years, but no one's reporting it. And now it's starting to come out. But I've known about this for at least 20 years, and I'm just shocked that it's just starting to come out now. So any smokers, or even if you're an ex-smoker, please do not take beta carotene in a supplement form. Incredibly.
That's great. That's amazing information. So I do want to reiterate, I mean, we're not here to tell you what to do, but the reason that disease is caused, as we shared at the beginning of the call, is because of the free radicals that you're exposed to. Smog, pollution. So if you are a smoker, in fact, you are, what's the right word? You are willingly putting a cigarette to your mouth and you're just pouring those toxins into your body. And by using Fountain of Life, it's going to help you to protect and preserve your health. But that doesn't mean, okay, I just took a drop of FOL, let me have a puff of smoke. Let me take a FOL, let me take a puff of smoke. It doesn't work that way. You got to change the way that you take care of your body internally and externally. And you know what, David, I'm ecstatic to hear that, you know, Reza does not like the taste of the cigarette, because I am positive that whatever it's doing to his body or his mind or cleansing his body does not want those cigarettes. So I hope that this will help you in getting rid of that bad habit that I used to have at one point as well. So David, talk to me about protecting against your DNA. Of course, our DNA is important. Our body chromosomes are important. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, if anyone understands just cellular science, you know, our DNA is it's got all the information about us. It contains that the pathway as to who we are, and it's at the very basic core of everybody. You know, it's funny. DNA is very important, yet we do things to ourselves that unravel that. The DNA issue with free radicals is sort of amazing. Free radicals will go into the body, and free radicals are caused by a loss of electrons. As simple as that. And so what nature does is they go to a healthy cell and they'll steal an electron to balance it out. It's the balancing act that creates, when free radicals do that, causes these issues. And if they do it enough times to a healthy cell, it alters the DNA. It alters that program that's in that DNA and causes growth, that causes uncontrolled growth. And that's where cancer starts, and they know that. So that's why you'll hear doctors saying, you know, got to be careful about the free radicals in there. And that's why they're careful about certain things and peroxides and everything, because they have free radicals. The lignans, when you take in a lignin, the lignans do something very generous. They give that free radical the electron they're looking for, and that's how it works. So it's very, very important that we stop the things that are causing free radicals if we can. You know, the overabundance of free radicals. And the thing is, the other thing is to supplement our nutritional supply with lignans. And lignans are able to give up that electron easily and prevent damage. Because once damage occurs at the cellular level, that's when we get this incredible growth that's uncontrolled. And that's what we call cancer. Hope that makes sense.
Yes, I was trying to unmute myself and I paused my video. So David, there's a question that comes out. You had talked about that beta. Okay, so you said, is it just a supplement, beta carotene or beta carotene in general? Should they not use it?
Beta carotene is a supplement.
In general.
If you're a smoker or an ex-smoker, in general, no, it's not as in general. Do not use it, period. Do not use beta carotene if you're like, it's alarming that people like, it's alarming that it's not being reported. It's alarming that, you know, I sent you an article on that. That's the first article I've ever seen on this stuff. It's just incredible. I'm trying to forewarn people that, you know, we always think that, oh, we're going to take a vitamin. Oh, it's going to be good for us. Well, there's a toxicity to vitamins. Sanaz and I had that discussion with a doctor that there is a toxicity to synthetic vitamins that don't even work that well at times. So we have to be cognizant of that. We have to be prepared to address that. But don't think that vitamin therapy is the safest thing in the world for you. Better to use something natural. And that's where FOL is important, because it is natural. This is not a synthetic product. This is a natural product. And our body, for whatever reason, metabolizes natural products in a different way than synthetic products. I don't have the mechanism of that, but there seems to be a difference.
Perfect. So, David, I want to respond to a question that just, so we talked about the product, of course, the Fountain of Life. It's been in the market for about 25 years. It's got over 22 patents in the history that it's been around. It has been used not in a oral product like we have manufactured. So Opulence Global, GWT Corp, we are the ones that have created and developed this amazing, powerful antioxidant. that actually has, I think, 7 active lignans. Correct, David? I don't want to give the wrong number. That we produce, of course, plus other extracts to be able to give you the most powerful antioxidant. Other companies in Europe have already been using this topically in a lot of skincare and has been used in skin cancer research. This is how we developed it. Remember, this product is already in 2 of your Flawless products. Can you guys tell me which products it's including? Which one of your Flawless products has the Fountain of Life in it? Anyone know? Let me see. Trying to scroll down. There's so many messages. Hold on. Yes, yes, yes. Your night and your day product. Your Quad AG and your Revive 5D has this amazing revolutionary product. So for those of you who are asking these questions, you've obviously not been on previous calls that we've had. And that's why it's important to be on the Monday night calls. Every single Monday night we have these calls. So before we move forward, let's see who learned something new today. Type me what you learned today in the message box. Let's see how well we did in training everyone today, David. I know it's going to become a flood of messages in a minute, but what did you learn? Type me in the message box what you learned today. Perfect. The power of lignans. Beautiful. The ratio of usage. It could be used externally or on cuts and wounds. Beautiful. 10 drops is 77 cups of oatmeal for blood pressure, for smoking. Beta-carotene is bad as a supplement. FOL is good for hair and scalp. The danger to beta-carotene. About lignans, hair bacteria. I lost 50 pounds, yes. Free radicals. Vitamin toxicity. So let's talk a little bit about that, David. I want to give our members some knowledge and information about vitamins. I'm going to keep on reading them in a minute. So vitamins. Talk to me a little bit about vitamins. Are they good for you? Are they bad for you? Should you take them? Should you not take them? And why not?
Well, it's a pretty big question.
Go on. I'm just going to get some hot water. I'll be right back.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is a really, really big topic. When we talk about vitamins and everything, and you're going to look at both sides of the equation. But when we're talking about vitamins right now, it seems to be that there's been some negative reaction to synthetic vitamins. And synthetic vitamins, for whatever reason, these supplements that they're taking, they don't seem to have the same impact as that I think we all expect. And it's sort of disappointing. Things like folic acid, part of the B vitamin family, they're finding out there's a correlation between taking these supplements and a rising of colon cancer. So you sort of start wondering, you know, and then with smokers and ex-smokers with beta-carotene supplements, again, you know, that's been sort of well known for a while, but they haven't really advertised it a lot. And I'm not sure why. You know, vitamin E, I think everyone on this call would be familiar with, and they're saying that, you know, they're looking at strokes, heart disease, everything like that, but there's nothing been proven by that. So again, as you take a look at vitamin therapy, there's some questions that are being raised right now as to what is going on with this, and why is it impacting our systems this way? And I think it's a very big question and a very daunting question that they're trying to ascertain at this point. You know, but there's nothing wrong in taking it as a food supplement and a food source. So if you get a natural source of these things, our bodies seem to be able to implement it and ingest it and metabolize it, all these food supplements without issue. So I wanted to distinguish between the supplement and the food sources. And as well understand that I'm talking about synthetic supplements at the same time. And there has to be some caution being taken when you're looking at vitamins. Now, if you look at something like lignans and everything, there aren't any synthetic sources of lignans out there. They are all extracts. But what differentiates FOL is that we have 7 of the major lignans. There's so many different types out there, and the Iraq slightly different. But if we take a look at what we have 7 major lignans that encompass the product. There are more things to this than including isoflavones, things like that we're not talking about. It's a very, very broad product in terms of its lignin content, antioxidant content. Excuse me. And I think that you'll be very pleased with the results that you'll start seeing. You know, we're not claiming anything on purpose because it's not a drug, and we don't want to create. I don't know. We want to create the aura that we've got a miracle product out here. It will help improve our health, improve our chances of better health. And I think if you position it that way, it'll be fine. We don't want to create expectations that can't be met. And but I think you should be pleased that there is an opportunity to give somebody a product with a complete set of lignans, unlike anything else out there, that will help reduce the chances of serious disease states. I think that's important. And it's natural. So our bodies will ingest it at a very, it will metabolize it a lot better than anything that's synthetic.
Perfect. So David, a couple of questions. When should someone be taking their FOL? Should they take it with food? And what are some of the ways to actually take FOL?
FOL can be taken any way, anytime. I would suggest that you take it at the same time every day, just so you have enough in your system. There are many ways you could take it. You know, it's not impacted by heat, which makes it very unique. So it doesn't degrade in heat or UV light. So what you can do is you can take it straight or neat. Ramin does that. I don't know whether I don't think Sanaz will do that.
No, I do it now.
Oh, do you? It's sort of bitter. It's got a very, very bitter taste to it. And, and it has a bit of an aftertaste, but if you take a look at the benefits of the product versus that little bit of an aftertaste, I don't think it's an issue. You can take it in, I take it in juice, sometimes water, just put my drops in and just stir it and drink it. It's pretty easy. Tom says he puts it in his porridge. He doesn't even measure it anymore. He's taken it a long time now, but he says he just drops it in and he just eats his porridge. The doctor, Alness, said that he takes it in his beer, but of course it's probably at night that he's doing it. We don't recommend drinking beer and going to work, that's for sure. We're not trying to create that sort of lifestyle. However, beer is bitter and it does mix well with that. So there is that. So and yogurt's another area that you can mix it, another type of food that you can mix it in. So there are a number of ways of taking.
And I think, David, once you get your bottle, you just have to play around with how you like it. Whether you want to just take it, like I used to originally take it in juice, or I used to hold my nose and I used to take it. It's not that bad. I'm just a drama queen. Like I don't like bitterness. I like everything sweet. And so it was just bitter. It tastes like a tree. And so because it's an all natural product, I do want to give you guys a little bit of a history. When the product was originally launching, I said to our CEO, Ramin, we got to put something in it. We got to make it sweet, blah, blah, blah. And so I got to tell you, when I tried to mix it with different stuff, we had to put a whole bunch of sugars in it. We had to put a bunch of other ingredients to make it taste sweet. And we didn't want to do that to you guys. We wanted to make sure we give you the purest forms. If you're an athlete and you're working out and you are very strict with your food and your regimen and whatever, we wanted to give you the best of the best. And we don't want to give you any sugar, especially people who are diabetic or, are on different types of medication. We wanted to make sure. So we have kept this as pure, and I mean as pure as it gets. So this is one of the reasons why you can basically take it. You can basically give it to your kids, and of course, give it to your pets, not kids. We don't recommend it for kids, but some people will make their own decision to do it. But at the end of the day, it's very, very important to make sure, like David said, that you try it in different things. Some people mix it in water, and you drink it right away. One thing I do want to reiterate, this is not a product, David, for someone to pour into their bottle of water and drink it throughout the day. They got to make sure that they're consuming it right on the spot, all 10 drops, one shot. So whether you're taking it like a tequila shot and going straight up, which is the way I do, and I just drink water or juice over top of it, or whether you want to put it underneath your tongue, you want to put it in your yogurt, you want to put it in your cold or hot beverage, because it's so pure, extreme heat or cold will not de-affect the product. So I hope that is clear. The other topic I wanted to cover, how do we take it, pets, and expiration. David, talk to me about that.
Well, we're looking at 2 years once we, on the shelf, but once you open it, it's good for months, but really, once you open it, you should be taking it within the month, to be honest with you, because that's where you're going to get the most value. If you haven't used it within the month, then chances are that you're not getting any value from the product. And one thing that I do know is if you don't take enough, you're not getting anything, so it's not even worth your time. And so you have to be consistent with this. It's important that you are consistent. The other thing to really speak about, and before I forget, is the bitter taste. I was talking to the doctor about that, and I didn't realize that our bodies react to different things like sour, sweet, everything. And he says bitter is an important thing for our bodies because it reacts to the bitterness.
Yep.
And he says it is part of the solution. And he says, and it's not part of the problem. So he said he wanted to reiterate that with me. So I thought that's a good point. He says it's not the most pleasant thing always in the world, but he goes, the bitterness is something our body reacts to. So it's a good thing.
Actually, David, you know what? It's not that bad. I mean, when I first started to use it, the bitterness, it was there. But once I started to use it a little bit, honestly, I'm so used to it right now that if I don't take it, I feel like something is missing. It's like my Flawless, right? Yeah. If I don't cleanse my face, if I don't put moisturizer on, and if I don't use my eye serum, and I don't put my lip product, I feel like something is literally missing from my daily regimen. And you know what? In the mornings, I put on my daily regimen, take your FOL, and you're ready for the day. So that way you don't forget it. It's in the kitchen, or it's in your bathroom, wherever you want to put it. So I do want to talk very quickly. I know we're coming to the final hour. Why can kids not take it? I do want to talk a little bit about that because I know some parents will decide to give it to their kids. We have it on the bottle, not recommended for pregnant women or kids. Why, David?
Okay, pregnant women, it's obvious, just in breastfeeding women. It's just that for any product out there, especially when you're ingesting it, we're not going to have pregnant women that will subject themselves to studies of such a nature. So we have no idea, and we can't ever safely state that we've tested it on pregnant women. Therefore, it always has to be a contraindication for any company out there. And breastfeeding women as well, because we don't want to make sure it doesn't get into the breast milk that impact children. Now, and having said that, the reason that we can't say anything about children is that, again, children are very, very near and dear to every government in the world. And they will not let companies without a plethora of studies go out there and just, give nutritional supplements to children. Simple as that. We're not allowed to. We can't recommend it corporately because there aren't enough studies done on children. Although we know the toxicity levels and everything like that, we just can't say that corporately. It would be immoral, number one, to do that, but more than anything, it would be illegal. So that's why. And we're just being careful. Now, if there's a reason that you've got a child that might benefit from it, well, that would be a decision as a parent, So again, it's not that we're trying to hide anything. There's nothing to be hidden. Yeah. The safety levels of this product is amazing. It's a very, very safe product. But at the same time, due to government legislation, not just in Canada, but around the world, we cannot promote it for children. It would be simply something that they would not stand for.
Yeah. And you know, one of the folks that we have is one of our also shareholders is Nora Bastian, and you know, I'd given this product to her to try the product, and of course, one of the things that she had done is being a mom and being a grandma. The product that I'd given to her, she started to give it to her grandson, who David, maybe you can clarify. I don't want to make say the wrong thing. He has, I think, protein buildup in his urine, and when he's is Nora on? Maybe I can get her to quickly. Oh, there she is. Hi, Nora. Nora, I know I unmuted you. I know it. Hi, Paul. How you guys doing? I know you use your own discretion, and you started to actually give it to your grandson. What is the condition that he has?
Nephrotic syndrome.
Okay, so he's got protein buildup in his urine, correct?
Yeah, what it does is he doesn't the protein cannot the kidney cannot keep the protein, so it releases the protein into the urine, and
Which is not good for the body.
And yeah, that give her become have like an edema. So we need to have that controlled, and he's been on steroids medication since he was 4.
How old is he now?
He's 12.
He's 12. And one of the things that you also told me is that he also gets inflammation in his eyes or in his face because of the medication that he takes. Yeah. And so you had actually given them the Fountain of Life. How many drops did you start to put him on?
At first, to try, I give him like 2 drops because I was gonna give him 1 drop to taste it, but I end up putting 2. It just clicked. So, but the next day it was like, I like the taste. He liked it. He didn't have to, so he would probably be laughing at you when you're like making faces about taking it because he take it in his tongue. And the next day the reading was negative, which I was so shocked because that day, the day before, I was in Toronto when I picked up the product, right? And I came home, he's got all kinds of crap, junk on his table for food, like snacks. Of course, I wasn't home, right? So I was so worried that the next day the reading will go up, but it was negative, and so I started giving it to him. And I'm giving it to him 3 drops a day.
And so he's seen a negative in protein in his urine since he's been on it.
Negative and trace, but the doctor said trace is good, but negative is better. So he's been really negative since December 26 now.
So since he's been on the product, he's gone on a negative, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And there's a question about blood pressure. It does help because he was on medication for blood pressure, but I know it's FOL because I didn't give him that high blood pressure pills because there's another side effect that goes along with that. So every time we go to the doctor for follow-up, his blood pressure is high, his blood pressure is high. After FOL, it's about 7 days. I was just giving him the FOL. When we went back for the follow-up checkup, the doctor said, hey, we can take you off the high blood pressure now. Inside myself, I was like, yeah, that was FOL. But I didn't tell the doctor yet because it was too early into the thing, right? The taking FOL. So I will tell him what I've been logging on the notebook, what I've been doing for him.
Perfect.
So maybe he can help that apply with other people as well.
Thank you so much, Nora. I appreciate your testimonial. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure that I do reiterate. 1, we always say there's no testing done on kids or whatever. It is absolutely to the adult's discretion to use it. FOL, Fountain of Life, does not cure any disease. I want to reiterate that. Don't go out there and sell it that I got you a magic cure. This is what happened. This is to protect and to preserve your health. This is a product that is going to help you with your immune system. This is a product that is going to do things for you. But one thing I want to make sure that you all go and buy, which eventually I'll have as a tool in your back office, I want you to all go buy yourself a blank notebook. And I want you to have a journal for FOL. This is actually something that Reza told me about, and it's absolutely amazing. You are going to experience different things with Fountain of Life, and I want you to log every step of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a notebook. You are going to put your starting date. So write that down. You're going to put your starting date. You are going to log you don't have to take a lot of notes, but every day log. You know what you know. I will eventually create a calendar for you guys that you're going to be able to check mark it. So I'm going to make it easy for you. That's going to become a part of your daily regimen. But I want you to log, what do you see? Are you sleeping better? Are you, is your digestive health different? Is your bowel movement? Is your sex drive changed? Is your, do you have less inflammation? Do you have less pain? Do you have less aches? Do you have more hair growth? Do you have, all these different things? And, you may realize changes that we're not aware of. But remember, we want to hear your testimonials, which brings me to my next point. We do have a testimonial site. I'm just going to share my screen. We do have, 1 second, please. We do have a testimonial site that we want to get all of you guys on. And, oh my goodness, talk about technology. There we go, share screen. Here we go, share. All right, so let me present. Okay, so we do have a Fountain of Life. By the way, those of you who haven't already done so, we do have Opulence Global as our new company that's going to be launched in 11 days. So make sure that you go and like that page. Make sure that you go and see all of the news. By the way, as you can see right here, Fountain of Life is a new group that's created. And that has to do everything with your customer questions about Fountain of Life. And myself and David are on there to answer all of your questions. So make sure you go ahead and you like Opulence, number 1. Number 2, if you want to follow us on all our social media, it's under Opulence GL. So that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Go and like all of those so you make sure that in the next 11 days you are up to date with everything. As well, make sure that you go ahead and you rate us, because we want to make sure your customers are seeing. If you have a testimonial, share your testimonial with us. We'd love to hear from you as well. Many people have already gone ahead and rated us as, of course, a 5-star. That is the highest star. The other thing as well, if you haven't already done so, join Opulence Global Family. This is a group only for our members to give you inside scoop about what's coming. Again, these are things that you want to make sure that you are a part of. The other announcement I want to share with you, which you already heard about, pre-orders are going to be ending, which means a lot of the shipping rates and so on and so forth, the promotions that we've had, pre-orders are going to be ending. You're going to be able to use, there's no more cap. So if you want to order more than 12 bottles, go ahead. If you want to order 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 dozen of bottles, you can. Some people want to do it in their market because they want to do a launch and they want to ship it. So that's been removed. You can go ahead and do that. One other thing as well, I do want to reiterate. When we originally launched GWT, all of the IA that you basically had accumulated and you bought, those were bought as fashion credits. Those were bought for you to go out there and buy yourself fashion, accessories, bags, purses, shoes, etc., which you can still, in fact, go ahead and use. But that also means that we're making a one-time exception. Our CEO is very generous to allow each and every single one of you to use those shopping credits called IA for a personal supply of 2 bottles, which is SKU number 6760. Everyone has a maximum of 2 bottles that they can use if they have any IA accumulated, which now is actually called shopping credits. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead, enjoy your personal supply. Using your fashion credits, you can use 2 for Fountain of Life. And moving forward, any Fountain of Life that you buy, using your shopping credits will allow for you to use 50% shopping credit, 50% cash with no limitations. So I hope that is clear. And if there's any questions, I can maybe answer those before I move on to any other of the announcements that I have. I just want to make sure I go step by step. So is there any questions? Is that exciting or is that exciting? So each and every single one of you can go and take advantage and basically buy 2 bottles using any shopping credit that you have. Remember, it is shopping credit for fashion and for beauty, but we're allowing you as a one-time introductory offer to use it for 2 bottles of basically FOL. Is that clear? Exciting? Yes? Awesome. Okay, you guys ready for the other announcements? Let me share screen again. And share. And there we go. Okay, so that is clear. Of course, I've already shared with you guys Opulence. Once again, if you haven't already done so, log on, like our page, and give us some feedback and give us a rating as well, which is we're gonna get very, very aggressive on social media in the next 11 days with, of course, Opulence Global. So Fairy Mosh purchases. I want to make sure that I reiterate this. I'm going to give you guys some time. Starting February 1st, Fairy Mosh jewelry will only be available to you as our partners, global partners. It will not be available to your VIP customers anymore. It will not be showing online for your VIP customers. It will be only available to you. So I just want to make sure that if you have yourself that you wanted to order your Fairy Mosh and you've been saving your IA, you have 11 days. And I'm going to give you an extended time. Don't worry, it's not going to be just cut off on February 1st. But if you wanted to order the 50/50, which we have right now, you're going to be able to go and get your Fairy Mosh, anything that you want, whether it's your exotic skin opulence wear collection. It's going to be available online, but as of February 1st, Fairy Mosh Opulence will not even be available anymore. So make sure if you want to take advantage of any Fairy Mosh or you have, shopping credits, you take advantage of that and you take advantage of that as well. In the future, not today, not February 1st, in the future, any Fairy Mosh purchases will become 100% cash and not 50/50 anymore. So once again, I do want to reiterate, if you have inventory, if you have IA, if you have shopping credits, and you always wanted to buy your Fairy Mosh, I'm giving you a chance to go ahead and make sure this is a massive announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Moving forward with Opulence, Fairy Mosh will eventually become 100% cash, no more shopping credits, and will not be available to your customers. So product spec sheets. I'll go back and I'll answer your questions. Product spec sheets. Again, these are product information sheets that are available. I've already covered this before, but it's going to help you to fully understand each product line, and it will help you boosting sales because you don't need to be a wealth of knowledge anymore. All you have to do is download the product spec sheets, and you can print these off and put them into your binder as well. Policy updates. I want to make sure everyone reads this very, very correctly. Monthly shopping subscription is missed. Members, you have 7 days to ensure that your payment is received in order for your shopping credits every single month to go through for you to be able to get your discounts of $75 and $150. As of February 1st, the system will automatically and irrevocably flush your accumulated volume. So if you do not pay your monthly IA, we have been very gentle with you with GWT. As of Opulence Global, it will flush any accumulated volume and it will not come back. So if you call us back and you say, my credit card didn't go through, my credit card expired, all of that kind of fun stuff, we used to give you a grace period and we used to be able to reverse it. We cannot do it anymore as of Opulence. Opulence is a new company. And remember, we are going to be enforcing policies. So get in touch with your teams. Make sure you keep track of your organization. It is not our job corporately to do it, but your job. So make sure if someone's IA doesn't go through, or your shopping credits, their volume will be flushed and it cannot be reversed. We've covered this already on multiple calls. I don't want there to be disappointment. All we're doing is following policy. Remember that we will always give you that 3-day grace period to bring your shopping credit payment up to date. However, only 50% of your volume will be reinstated, never 100%. So that means never ever miss your shopping credit day. And of course, if we do that, there will be an administrative charge of $50. And that's basically it. Follow us on that. I do want to go back and I want to answer any of your questions that you may have. Any questions that I can answer? I know some of you have already been sharing all the groups. And is there any other questions that I could answer for all of you? Because I have a couple more announcements. You guys all ready for it? All right. So right now we are planning, of course, a conference. No, Sherry, we're not having a convention. We have a new company, so you cannot have a convention for a new company. I've already covered this on multiple calls as well. Remember, Opulence Global is going to be launched in 11 days. There's no way to recognize anybody in a brand new company in 3 months. However, we are planning a conference in April, which gives you 3 months from the time that we launch, February, March, April, right? End of April, which will give you up to date for about 90-day blitz. We are planning on having a cruise that's going to be departing from the United States. And it's going to be a Caribbean cruise of 5 days, 4 nights. Everyone can come. Listen to this very carefully. Everyone can come. Anyone who's cruise qualified, we're going to be paying for it. Anyone who's cruise qualified, we're going to pay for your shipping. We're going to pay for your sail. And all of those details I'm going to be releasing when we launch Opulence Global in 11 days. I already got the ship dates. We're just finalizing all the details. We will have a 1-day conference on the actual cruise, full-fledged training. So imagine being on the beautiful Caribbean Sea and being able to get trained, and imagine being with your partners and having a lot of fun, inspiration, training as well, but at the same time, celebrating the 90-day blitz. So I'm going to be announcing that very, very soon. Make sure that right now, all you have to do is get to work. What does that mean? You need to smile and dial. You need to get your pre-orders. If you don't have customer pre-orders for FOL, why not? If you haven't done your own pre-order, why not? You know, we have lifted everything for you guys to go out there and to be able to be inspired, be able to grow, be able to build, and most importantly, gain momentum. Remember, action will determine your results. And if you've been a part of GWT and you were kind of like hesitant to do whatever, you know what? Here's your time to shine. Here's your time to go out there. Be a product of your product. We are a new company. I want to reiterate this over and over and over. We've got a little bit over in time, but I want to make sure that I reiterate this. Opulence Global is a brand new company. Opulence Global will give you rewards. And I want to make, if I have Renee on, I know some of the team already got some inside scoop on what is coming for the updated compensation plan. How many of you got a chance to see Renee's excitement? And I want to just unmute Renee. Renee, you got a chance to hear about some inside scoop about what is coming with Opulence Global. Share with us your excitement and what's coming.
Hello, Sinaz, and we've been on the call since 10 this morning sharp. I actually got my voice here. Going to do some swimming, but be on the call nonetheless. So, but all I can say about Opulence Global, folks, you will never imagine what is coming, and I can promise you, when you see the compensation plan behind Opulence Global, you're going to see your life.
Oh, you cut out.
In 3 months, yeah. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, I understand that you guys are going to have such an incredible time. 3 kids, 1 adult. You're going to have such incredible, your goals to becoming financially retired. You're going to see the ability to walk away from your job in your first year, if you so wish to be. You're going to see the possibility of walking away from your job in half a year, if you want to work really hard. Even 3 months, I mean, the possibilities of this plan are just absolutely, Sanaz, I just have never seen a plan. Guys, give respect, just a plan like this. And I was thinking on the call that imagine the best parts of any compensation plan I've ever seen jammed into one, and I could not see this coming at all. And there's still no words to describe what that plan is, and it's just absolutely insane. So I don't want to talk for too long. Calls back to you, Sanaz. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Renee. I know you are super excited. As you all know, Renee is a numbers guy, right? So for him, it's all about the Benjamin. It's always about the Benjamin and about the comp plans. And he is notorious for comparing compensation plans. And you know what? I know, and you don't see, he's not a very hypey type of person. Like David is not a hypey type of person. He just gives you facts, right? So when Renee gets this excited, and look at his kid, look at his face. He's like a kid in a candy store because he is so excited about what is coming. And I got to tell you, I am excited. When we sat down, and I'm going to get Danny, who is our, of course, sales manager, who's on the call with us as well. I know when Danny heard about it, and of course, she has to train this material. Danny, tell me how excited you are about what is coming with Opulence Global.
I was so excited that you just made me remember, put a smile on my face, because as can you picture our amazing CEO? Okay, team, I'm going to explain you step by step. And then he's so excited. And then he started to share, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I just want to go out and have a new car. I just want to go out and qualify. Does that mean I have to do this? Does that mean I have to do this? And it was just, I was trying to, and that's what we're working on right now, Sanaz, is to make it for you so easy and simple to achieve all these steps and levels, that you are getting recognized and you are getting all these scoops from the inside, to understand which is your next level. So what is next? What's coming? So there is so much room for you where sky is the limit, and it's just, a keep on growing opportunity for you guys. So I'm so excited for that. As you said, it's like we're 11 days from it, and I know it's going to be amazing, and I am super excited because you know what? Then we're going to be on the road, teaching you, explaining you, sharing with you all the benefits that, your only thing is to pass it on. Yeah. Pass it on. Don't keep it to yourself. Pass it on and share it with the world, because I always share with you that there's thousands upon thousands of people out there looking for an opportunity like ours.
Absolutely. So one of the things, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you some inside scoop of what's coming. We are going to be having an Opulence launch party at our office. And I'm either going to do it on a Friday or Saturday night. So people from all across, if they want to fly in for the event, they can come in. We're thinking of doing a Friday night. So Saturday, we can give you some like amazing training on the Saturdays for people from Ottawa, Montreal, the States, abroad that want to come in for the day. They have all of us in-house. It's a full-fledged training day. And then what we're going to be doing, just so you guys know, when Opulence Global, we're going to be doing a global tour. So we're going to be going out to different markets. We're going to go city to city to city. And what we're going to do is we're going to train you. David has already volunteered for Australia and New Zealand. He says, I want to go there. So, but of course, we have a lot of amazing things happening. But again, it's about what your market does. So Montreal, if you want us to come, you got to get cracking. Caribbean, if you want us to come, you got to get cracking. Australia, New Zealand, wherever you want us to come, you got to show us numbers. You got to show us action. We got to get all of you in massive, massive momentum, because you can be excited on social media and jump up and down as much as you want. You can say woohoo as long as you want. But at the end of the day, it's about taking action. Ask yourself, hold yourself accountable. You don't need to answer this on the call. When was the last time that you sat down and you gave someone a tour about our business? When was the last time that you put in a VIP? When was the last time that you sponsored someone? If everyone in your team did what you're doing, where would your check be? So do a checkup from the neck up, okay? It's about accountability. Being on calls is great. It's about fueling your mind. Listening to motivational tapes is good. But what action are you taking? in building your business. How many pre-orders have you got? How many customers have you shared FOL with? How many video links have you sent? How many social media ads have you done? How many of you gone out there? You know, if I was in the field, I would be doing a video saying, I am looking for seasoned network marketers to join a brand new company called Opulence Global, or don't give them the name. Call me to find out about this amazing product. I see Abdul Razak doing some stuff. You got to make sure you are planning. Do not wait for Opulence to be launched. This is your new company. Pedal to the metal. Let's get working. Let's get cracking. Let's get building. Let's get you into momentum. Let's put money in your pocket. Because if you are not working, God is not going to throw money in your pockets, right? You got to do work to make money. And God gives you opportunity. God shines some light onto you. Now you got to go out there and you got to build and you got to multiply. But that only happens if you are excited. That only happens if you are building and growing. Now I'm getting too excited and I'm losing my voice. So, David, any closing comments before we shut the call down? I know we've gone a little bit over time.
Well, I just want to thank for everyone who came on board today. I really appreciate the time that I spent. You know, you're going to have questions always. This is a very complex topic when it comes to nutrition, lignans, antioxidants, free radicals. And as you get off the call, you might have some. So just write to me at flawless@myopulence.com, and I'll be glad to try and get back to you in a timely fashion. Be very enthused about. I am enthused about this, in spite of what people think. But it's a fantastic product. It's going to change lives, and I hope that you'll chronicle that. You know, as you go along, and get these stories. You know, put it together because it's something to be shared, and it's something to be shared with the scientific community. You know, we're not just going to keep it in house. We want the world to know the power of this product. We want the people back down in the universities to better understand how we're selling it and how we're helping lives and changing lives. So please do that as you move forward. And you're going to be writing your own tale as you go forward, and you're going to have some amazing things to share with everyone. So look forward to that and enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I know that some of you are typing, and thank you for your comments and excitement. We are all excited as well. Some of you have been asking about the launch of the Fountain of Life. We did originally say 4 to 6 weeks, but we are at the mercy of the factory that is manufacturing it and our label company. Of course, we fell between New Year's and Christmas, and in the medical trade, they take a lot of time off. They're not like us where they're working around the clock. So I don't want to give you a date, but let's say we are days away. They've already disappointed me a couple of times. They promised me delivery dates, which they haven't delivered on. I don't want to give you a date, but I promise you it's within days. We are very, very close. As soon as it's manufactured. It's manufactured in Canada, by the way. The bottles are there. The labeling is done. The manufacturing, the testing, everything. We're in the final stages, which we are super excited about. Remember, the product is a Norwegian spruce extract knot. But again, as soon as we are ready to launch and ship, we will advise. We have to still get it in our warehouse. We have to get all your packages ready. But all of the pre-orders will go first. I just want to make sure. Anyone who's done a pre-order, your shipment is going to go out first. It's first come, first serve basis. So if you are one of the first ones that did a pre-order, yours will go out first. Second, we are going to be having, of course, as I mentioned, an FOL Opulence launch party. We are going to have a tasting party, almost like champagne. So when it's going to be done in our office, we'll let you know. I'm planning it out this week. And if you are in Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, abroad, around us, we invite you to come in and join us for the party. It's free for everyone to come. You can bring your guests as well. And it's going to be a chance for you to experience FOL, taste it, try it. But again, I can assure you we are working relentlessly around the clock to get it done. As soon as the shipment arrives in our personal warehouse, I will be doing a Facebook Live. I will be doing a special announcement, and I will be giving you exact delivery dates and timelines. In the meantime, before we take the FOL pre-orders offline, make sure you take advantage of them because, of course, now you're going to be able to use your shopping credit, a little bit of it, and we remove the cap as well. So I want to thank each and every single one of you for logging on today. I hope today's call was educational, informative. You learned something new. And of course, please join us every single Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where David and I get on every single Monday to train you. Remember, you don't need to be a scientist. You don't need to be a product expert, but get your team on to the product calls every Monday. Or you can also always enjoy listening to these recorded calls that we do for your knowledge and information. So signing off from Canada, I hope all of you have enjoyed. David, thank you again for your time on this Saturday morning, and each and every single one of you for taking the time to protect and invest your business, for being on these calls, for asking all the amazing questions, and for learning something new. Of course, to infinity is our new slogan. So make sure, now it's to infinity and beyond 2018. I love you all. Have an amazing day. To infinity, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
To infinity.
Okay. Oh, we're not calling.